that. Man, sorry I'm late today, guys. You know, I had to get my microphone working, and even with that, I had to give up on it today. No mic today. We're just going with the, old natural inbuilt mic, but we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. You see the topic of conversation today. We're breaking down the mark of the beast, excuse me, versus the seal of God. Got some lemonade and cranberry juice here. Staying hydrated. Okay, so we're breaking down the mark of the beast versus the seal of God. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because there's a big movie that's coming out April 25th. I'm excited. I want to see it. It's called Civil War. It's getting really big headlines, really big reviews, really good reviews. Some people are saying it's anticipated to be the movie of 2024, like the biggest movie of 2024, right? So a lot of people are talking about this movie, Civil War. People are saying that right now, the powers that be, the propagandists that be, are putting out a lot of content to prepare and prime the public for the things that are soon to come, or things that seem likely. You know, late last year in 2023, we saw the movie Left Behind. Now, I did a review on that movie, and if you checked out that movie, it's out on Netflix. You can see the movie Left Behind, the way that it ends. I'm not going to give any too big of a spoiler alerts, but what basically happens, spoiler alert, is there seems to be some type of cyber attack. There's some type of cyber attack going on in America, but there doesn't seem to be an invasion in the movie. Maybe towards the end, but throughout most of the movie, there's no direct conflict with the foreign enemy. There's just a cyber attack. Power's out. And the movie, like I said, no big spoiler alerts, but the message of the movie, the theme of the movie is that even if America is not invaded by the outside, even if it's not like the Chinese are flooding our coasts and running up on the San Francisco beaches, even if that's not the case, which seems very unlikely, almost impossible, that is not the most likely scenario. The most likely scenario is some type of cyber attack, some type of situation where our infrastructure is shut down and we Americans turn on ourselves in order to survive. There is a civil war within an internal war, a fight for survival, a fight for resources, because the grid, the structure that we have built has been broken down, and we will revert back to our animalistic, our primal ways. That's the theme of the movie Left Behind. So they seem to be priming the public, getting us ready for some type of cyber attack, getting us ready for some type of civil war, some type of internal struggle for resources. This is what they were getting us ready with the movie Left Behind. Now, we're in 2024, and they're going to hit you with the 1-2 combo. They hit you with the jab, the setup for Leave the World Behind, and now they're coming with they're coming with the hook. they're coming across, right? So they're coming across with Civil War. Okay, Civil War. And I'm going to play the trailer to let y'all know what movie we're talking about, and then I'm going to make a parallel to our main topic, which is the real Civil War, which is coming, which is the fight, the struggle between those who accept the mark of the beast and those who accept the message of the 144,000, those with the seal of God. So we're going to break it down, but check this out. Let's get started with this.
All across America, critics are raving about the movie event of the year.
It is American.
100%. That's what I'm talking about.
Cool.
Me in here, we in here. No crime here, just do your dirt and disappear.
We're going to DC.
Are you serious? The United States are vaporized. They shoot us on sight in the Capitol.
I've never been scared like that before, and I've never felt more alive.
Holy fucking shit! Soldiers spraying a chopper.
You watch. Soon as DC falls, they'll turn on each other.
Whatever happens,
They'll turn
We
on
don't
each
play.
other.
Oh my God.
You don't want to miss this.
God bless America.
Don't get captured.
Civil War. Rated R. Get tickets now.
Civil War. Okay. Okay. So you see the trailer. You see what's going on with the movie. You see what's going on with the propaganda. They're priming us. They're getting us ready for a civil war. They're getting us ready for an internal struggle. Okay. Now we see there's a lot of things going on the international stage. We see war between Russia and Ukraine. We see things heating up in the Middle East. Just today, Hezbollah was throwing a massive volley of missiles at Israel. We see things heating up with Israel bombing an Iranian embassy, which is technically a direct attack on Iran. So we see things heating up on an international stage, but at the same time they're priming us mentally. They're priming us through the propaganda, through the movies Left Behind, Civil War. They're priming us not for some external invasion. No, they're priming us for some type of internal struggle. Okay, they're priming us for a civil war. A lot of times, especially the suspected white supremacists, right? They like to think that there's going to be a race war. You know, they like to frame it in their minds. They're thinking there's going to be some type of race war. It's going to be, you know, the white people versus the black people, and it's going to be, you know, just black people killing white people in the streets, and white people have all the, you know, they like to fantasize about some type of race war. I'm here to say that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. No, not in America. There's ways we've been together way too long as far as black people know white people know black people. We're not going to give up our livelihood, give up our families, give up our careers, our jobs. We're not going to give up all of this just to kill random white people in the street. And white people aren't going to give up all of their careers, their businesses, their money just to be killing random black people in the street any more so than they already are. There will not be any race war. What the war will be is the war that is prophesied biblically, which is the war between the righteous and the war between the unrighteous. Now, let me go ahead and give you the real knowledge as far as what is the real war that is on the way. We're going to start off with Revelation chapter 13. Okay? Now, when talking about biblical prophecy, this is one of the most common and most popular verses to bring out. Okay, we're talking about the mark of the beast. Just about everyone and their mother knows the scripture that says, "No man shall buy lest he sell. No man shall buy or sell lest he take the mark of the beast." All right, and the number of the beast is 666. This is common knowledge at this point. If you're not aware, let's get into the word. I'll bring that out, and then I'm going to show you the other side. The other side is the seal of God, which is not often talked about. They always talk about the mark of the beast, but they rarely ever talk about the seal of God. So this time we're going to bring out both sides. We're going to start off with chapter 13, verse 7. "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints." Him is the beast. Okay, the beast is the war. Is him that was given power to make war with the saints. Again, the war is not black or white. It's not, you know, north versus south. The war is righteous versus unrighteous. That's the war that's coming. "It was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given over all kindreds and tongues and nations." Meaning this beast is able to speak to every country. There's no language barrier for the beast. He can go to Russia and speak Russian. He can go to America and speak English. He can go to France and speak French. He can go to China and speak Chinese. He can speak all the languages. So he is going to be a unifying force between the evil people from every nation. He has the ability over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So it's not like, oh, I speak English, so I'm stuck in the Western nations. I got to stay here in America and Great Britain. I got to stay where they speak English. No, he speaks Chinese. He speaks Russian. He speaks English. He speaks French. He speaks Bantu. You see what I'm saying? He can speak everything. We're going to keep going. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain in the foundation of the world. That means all the evil people, they're going to worship. Not only the evil people, but the ignorant people, the people who just didn't have who weren't written in the name of the Lamb of God. Meaning they just didn't know. They're in a whole different culture. They just didn't have knowledge. They weren't the selected few. They just weren't the selected few. It is what it is. Right? If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay. All right. Write that down. Write that down. Just take a note of that. That's not something to easily just go over. He that leadeth into captivity shall what? Go into captivity. Okay. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wounds was healed. Interesting. The first beast, huh? So you're telling me there's multiple beasts? Okay. All right. And he does great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from the earth, from the heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Sounds like a missile strike to me. Mind you, the person who's writing this, John of Patmos, this was thousands of years ago. This was thousands of years ago, so he's speaking with the words that he has in his vocabulary. He doesn't know what an airplane is. John on the island of Patmos, when he was writing down the books of Revelations, he does not know what an airplane is. He did not know what missiles were. He did not know what a missile strike was. He didn't know what a car was. He didn't know what an airplane was. He didn't know what the internet was. So if you're thousands of years old, think about over 2,000 years ago, you see a vision of the future, and you see a missile strike, a plane coming and dropping bombs from the heavens to the earth, how would you describe that if you've never seen an airplane? How would you describe that if you've never seen a missile? You've never seen a gun. You've never seen gunpowder. If you see this vision of the future, how would you describe it? I submit to you, I would probably describe it as he that does great wonders. He's doing amazing things so that he makes fire. He's making fire come from the heaven on the earth in front of everyone. Everyone can see it. Sounds like a missile strike to me. I don't know. Maybe. People try to say, oh, it's so far-fetched. I don't know. I think it sounds pretty reasonable. But let's continue. And deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast. So mind you, this beast is injured. This beast is injured. His head is hurt. He's injured. He's weakened. He's weakened. So the beast says, hey, you should make an image of the beast. Sounds like a clone. Sounds like a hologram. These are things we have in our ability, our arsenal today that they wouldn't have had thousands of years ago. So if you're saying, again, you're seeing a vision of him saying, hey, you need to make an image of us. And this isn't an image of bronze or stone, because this image is able to talk and deceive. What do we have that sounds like that today in 2024? Hologram? I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Sounds like it's possible. Maybe it wasn't possible at the time this book was written, but today, not so far-fetched. Okay. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So make an image and give life to the image. that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Mind you, they just did the same thing with Tupac on stage not too long ago, so that's possible. But here's the thing. Here's the thing where I want to close out on the mark of the beast, because this is the most quoted prophecy of all time, I would say. Verse 16, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great. And let me kind of increase the size here so make sure y'all are able to kind of see that a little bit better. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and or in their foreheads. Okay? So there's some things here. Everyone. He causes all, not some, not many, not most. He causes all. Well, you're famous, you're not famous. You're rich, you're poor. There's no, oh, I get an excuse, a medical exemption, I get a religious exemption. He's saying he causes all. Rich, poor, small, great, everyone to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead. And here's the important part, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? So you cannot buy or sell. You cannot buy or sell lest you have the mark of the beast. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for the number of the man, and his number is 666. 600, 3 score, and 6. Okay? But here's the important thing that they say that I wanted to point out. Unless you take the mark of the beast, which we know that some aren't, no man can buy or sell. Right? But it doesn't say no man can't take your stuff. Right? So if you tell me I got a family, I got a wife, I got kids, and I can't buy or sell unless I take this evil beast microchip or something of that nature in my hand or in my forehead, I don't want to take it. It doesn't say anything about me coming into the grocery store and snatching stuff up out of there. It doesn't say anything about me kicking your door in and taking the groceries out of your refrigerator. So when we're talking about a civil war, I submit to you that the civil war is not going to be black or white, because there's going to be some black people kicking in your door and there's going to be some white people kicking in your door. There's going to be some black people running up in the grocery stores saying, give me that, give me this, give me that, give me everything. And there's going to be some white people doing the same thing. Tell me we don't see that today. People running up into the Walmarts, people running into Targets, people running into these stores, grabbing everything and getting low. Tell me we don't see that today. Well, what happens when you tell half the population that they cannot, even if they have a job, even if they can't work, even if they are working, even if they have a job, even if they have a business, regardless of the money in their account that they've saved for the past 20, 30 years, unless you put the mark in your hand or in your forehead, it doesn't matter how much money you saved, great or small, rich and poor, free and bond, you can't buy yourself. You want that new car? You can't get it. You want to buy a crib for your baby? You can't get it. You want to go buy some gas for your truck? You can't get it. You want to buy some clothes for, you know, for your teenage son who keeps growing and growing? You can't get it. So you tell half the population that this is the situation, unless they take this evil mark, which we already know is evil at the time that them instituting it, because people like me are out here reading and telling you people, hey, telling the world, hey, we know that this is written down for thousands of years. This has been prophesied. So when the day occurs and the government comes out and says, hey, we're all going to take this mark, we're going to have a one world currency, no big deal, right? I think some people are not going to be fooled by that. Some people are not going to be fooled by that. 2020 was a dry run. They tried to tell everyone, rich and poor, small and great, free and bond, hey, you're going to have to take a jab because, you know, there's this big new flu out and you got to take this medication that we just invented a couple months ago. And we saw a lot of people took it. And we saw a lot of people didn't take it. Now, the consequences for not taking the jab in 2021, some people lost their jobs, right? Nurses were losing their jobs, for example, if they wouldn't take the jab. Okay, you might say that's reasonable. Okay, that was the consequence for not taking the jab. Nurses lost their job. Those are poor nurses. They're not getting rich. What about the rich people? Well, we saw people like Kyrie Irving got demonized because he also didn't take the jab. We saw people like what's the quarterback from Green Bay? Help me out. Aaron, not Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron is the baseball player. Help me out, guys. What's the quarterback from Green Bay who got in trouble for saying that he took the jab but he didn't? Aaron is going to come to me after live after the video, but you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. The quarterback. He was like, "Yo, I took the jab. I've got immunity. I've got immunity from COVID or from the flu, right?" Come to find out, he didn't take it. He took heat for that. So people both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond in 2021 were facing heat, but their consequences were minuscule. Imagine all the people who didn't take the jab in 2021 now not being able to buy or sell anything. Now that's a bigger consequence. That is something that that's a dividing line right there. You want to talk about civil war? That sounds like civil war to me. That sounds like civil war to me. It's going to be people who, okay, I can't buy, I can't sell, I want to work, you won't let me? Okay. But you can work and you can get all the stuff because you're taking it? All right, well, how about your stuff is now my stuff? How about that? That sounds like civil war to me. Because people aren't just going to bow down and take whatever you want them to take. But that doesn't mean they're going to starve either. That doesn't mean they're going to starve either. Because now here's the other thing. Now we're going to get into Revelation chapter 14, where they talk about the seal of God. But here's the thing before I get to the seal of God, here's the thing that I want to emphasize. Everyone will not receive the seal of God. Everyone that refuses to take the mark of the beast will not necessarily get the seal of God. So it's the people who's not necessarily on either side that you should really be worried about. Real talk. He who has ears, let him hear. There's going to be people who take the mark of the beast and they're just going to keep on with their regular life. There's pilots, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's people that work at Walmart. They're just going to take the mark of the beast. Hey, it's not that big of a deal. It makes life easier. I don't need to carry a wallet anymore. I don't need to carry a cell phone anymore. I don't need to carry car keys anymore. I just got this chip in my hand. Life is easier. Why are you making it such a big deal? Those are the people that's just going to take the mark of the beast. Cool. Then you got the people with the seal of God, 144,000. I want to get into that in a bit. But those folks, the few virgins who get the seal of God, they're going to be protected. They're going to be protected, right? They're protected by God. They've got the seal. Cool. So you got two camps here. But it's all the people in the middle. Like, yo, I don't got the seal of God, but I'm not taking that mark of the beast either. And it's those guys that's going to come together. Black, white, Indian, purple, Chinese. Race at this point doesn't matter. If all of our families are starving because they won't let us buy or sell, and they're going for it and we're not, well, we're going to come together. We're going to put together some plans. You know what I'm saying? We're going to work together because we might not necessarily be righteous enough for the seal of God, but we're not necessarily evil enough to be going along to get along. So all of us in the middle, we're going to be making survival decisions. And that's what we're going to get into. But first I got to give you the other side. I gave you the mark of the beast. Let me give you the seal of God. And then once we address both of those, then after that, then I'm going to give you talk more about the folks in the middle. Y'all bear with me for a second. I got to make sure that y'all bear with me, guys. Y'all bear with me. I gotta get my computer charged in here. Matter of fact, yeah, I don't want to do that and then mess up the audio. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. All right. We're back. We're back. And guys, if you've made it this far, if you're enjoying the conversation, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. We're not done yet, but if you've made it this far, if you're enjoying it so far, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button for content just like this. We're not done yet. We're about to get into the seal of God. We're not done yet, but I just want to take a moment and salute all of the, everybody who supports me, everybody who subscribed to the channel, everyone who likes the videos, continues to share the videos to try to spread this message. I talk about a wide range of topics, but I feel like I come with a decent message at the end of all of them. I try to be, have some type of positive conversation, some type of topics that you might not only find interesting, but you could learn or better yourself from. So that's the goal of this channel. So I just had to take a moment to, get my ad off, ask y'all to subscribe to the channel, subscribe. I appreciate y'all rocking with me and watching these videos though, for real, I really do. All right, so let's get back into it. The seal of God. This is chapter 14, Revelations chapter 14. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sinai, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Okay, so this is the 144,000. These are the folks who have been sealed with the seal of God. These are the folks who said, hey, I'm righteous. I obey the commandments of God since birth. I am pure. Right now, today, we've got, 8.9 billion people on the earth? We got 8.9 billion people on the earth. We've got, of that 8.9 billion people, we've got 144,000 that are righteous. Okay, all right. So let me say 8.9 minus 144,000. Okay. Then we've got people, let's say 60%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. How many people took the jab in 2021? What percent of the population took the jab in 2021? Let's say the numbers stay roughly the same. Likely they would increase because the consequences of not taking the mark of the beast would be higher than the consequences of not taking the jab. But let's say they stay pretty much the same. What is that? 50%, 60%? So that's another 4 or 5 billion people. We got 144,000 that's righteous. They're safe. God sealed them. They're good to go. You got another 50% of the human population, 4.5 billion people plus, that's taking the mark of the beast, and they're all in. All right, listen, we're going to keep up with the system. We're getting paid. We're good to go. We're on board. We're going to bow down to the beast, no problem. But then you got a percent of the population. They're not sealed. They're not protected. They're going through life not being able to buy or sell. What do you think is going to happen? But I digress. Let's go into verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. Loud voice from heaven, right? And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, right? And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So they got some type of telekinesis going on. There's some type of mind mapping. There's some type of connection, mental connection, to where the 144,000 are synced up with the angels and the folks in heaven, and they're all singing a unique song that the rest of us, we just like, hey, you hear those guys? I mean, I don't know that. You know that song? Nah, I never heard it on the radio. Is that on Apple Music? Nah. Check out Spotify. I haven't heard it. All right, so they're singing a song that only they know. To who? Before the throne, before four beasts. Beasts, okay. And the elders. Okay. Verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women. Meaning, if you are not a virgin, man, they're not defiled with women. So that means specifically that these are men who are virgins, clean. They have not done anything with any women. How many of y'all who were hoping to be part of the 144,000 just found out you're not going to make it? How many of us who were like, yeah, I want to be righteous. I want to do everything right so I can be sealed with the seal of God. How many of us just found out I'm out? Huh? Okay. Okay. Fine. So they were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goes. So these were righteous folks, righteous virgin men who were saying, I from birth have been set apart. I from birth am going to follow the commandments of God. I'm going to follow the Sabbath. The Sabbath day, I'm going to keep it holy. I'm going to follow the 10 Commandments. I'm not going to kill, steal. I'm not going to worship any other idols, put no other God before the Most High. I'm going to do everything according to the book, right? 144,000 out of roughly 9 billion people were able to live up to that mark. Cool. These are they which follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men and women. Says they were redeemed from among men who were not defiled by women. I don't know. I don't know. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb being Christ. And in their mouth was found no guile, meaning they had total control, self-control over the tongue. In the tongue is the power of life and death. They had no guile. They didn't speak any ill. No evil came out of their mouth. They weren't rapping along with the music, which often has the same words, doing things that we've never done and would not do in real life. Message. Message. In their mouth was found no guile. So even if you think, oh, I'm 14 years old right now, because I got kids who watch me too now. I got teenagers who watch me too. I got kids who watch me too. So young men, you might be 14 years old. You might be thinking, hey, so far so good. I haven't been defiled by women. I still have a chance. I want to be righteous too. Well, young man, I hope you're not up here saying things that's not necessarily righteous, saying it as if you're doing it or have done it, knowing that you haven't done it. You're just rapping along with the music, but your tongue has the power. Your tongue has the power. So whether you've done it, whether you haven't done it, whether you mean it or you're just singing a song, you're still saying the words. You're chanting. So this is a message you might be maybe you want to be conscious of the things you say, not just as far as in your conversation, but you might want to be conscious of the things you say due to the things you're allowed to hear. I don't know. Maybe food for thought. Maybe. Okay. All right. So in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. Also. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. So as we said when we were going over the mark of the beast, remember the beast had the ability to speak all the languages. He could go to China and Russia and England and France and America. He could speak to everyone. He got along with all the nations because he could speak the tongue. That was the mark of the beast. The beast specifically had that ability. Well, now on the righteous side comes an angel who also has the ability to give the message of righteousness, to say, hey, I can speak Chinese and Russian and English and French and Bantu and whatever have you. I can speak all your languages too. So you can go with the evil side, the beast, or you could take this message of righteousness and you go with this side. Everyone had the chance. It's not like, oh well, we could talk to him, the beast, but we couldn't talk to the righteous folks because they couldn't speak our language. No, they're saying, hey, we're gonna give you the message in whatever language you can understand. You have the chance to choose. That's another thing in the word. I don't know if I'm gonna bring that up tonight, but that's something that's worth speaking. There is a portion where John was told, hey, this part of the book, don't tell anyone. I'm going to let you see it, John, says God, says the Most High. I'm going to let you see it. But don't tell anyone. Seal this part up. Keep this part a secret. So the things that are prophesied to happen, there is a portion we just don't know. You have a chance. You have a chance. You have options. You have choices. And there's a portion we don't know. Maybe there's an alternate route. Maybe. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So there's an angel having an everlasting gospel to preach to them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. Cat Williams has a joke. He said, everyone knows the formula for water, H2O, but for some reason we can't make it. We can control hydrogen, we can control oxygen, but why can't we make water? It's a joke. But there's a message there. Worship the one who created it. We can manipulate it, but worship the one that created it. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen. It's fallen, the great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive a mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Now hold on, this is something I got to point out, because this is kind of my point here tonight. This is kind of my point here tonight. This message, the angel is threatening the people who worship the beast and the image and receive his mark in the forehead. That's who the threat is towards. So when we're talking about a civil war, the threat is going towards the people who take who worship the beast and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand. So again, you got the righteous, 144,000. You got the evil folks. You got the evil folks who take the mark. But then you got the people who are in the middle. It's like, I'm not taking the mark. I might not hit the 144,000, but I'm not taking the mark. The threat this far is not directed towards us. Now that's important because a lot of times there's a lot of fear mongering. When I grew up, there was a lot of fear mongering, especially in the church. But I want people to know, just because you might not be righteous, you might not hit the 144,000, you might not be perfect. But the threat here is for those who are intentionally evil, who worship the beast and receive his mark. Now, now I'm not saying you can get into heaven just by being a normal person. No, I would say that you should, if you love God, you will follow his commandments. That's my message. There is a bar. There is a bar. There is a level of discipline, accountability, and knowledge, because ultimately you have to know the name of Yahshua. You have to be able to, there is no other way. He is the way, the truth, and the light. No man makes it before the Father except through him. So you have to know the secret entrance. You got to know the name. Get up there and be like, oh yeah, I'm a good person. Drop. Get up there and be like, yo, I'm not perfect, but Christ, I plead the blood. I plead the blood. Listen, I'm not perfect. If I got hope, if I got a chance, it's not because of me. It's because of Christ. That's my plan. Listen, I done made too many mistakes. I done did too much. I can't get in based on my, getting in through the 144,000 route. So my route in is, hey, I bleed the blood of Christ. That's me. That's what I'm going with. Tell me where how you getting in. Tell me what's your plan. I'm all ears. Okay, but I just wanted to point out that this threat specifically in the last days is towards those who take the mark of the beast. Everyone might not get into the seal of God, but the threat isn't towards you, normal folks. Even though you will face prosecution, you will face hunger, you will face the civil war. The threat from the righteous, the threat from God is not, is not directed towards you. But for those who do take the mark of the beast, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that kept his commandments and faith of Christ. And I heard a voice from heaven, saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead, which die in the Lord from here on. Yeah, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Now, that's important. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about us normal folks who don't take the mark of the beast, but we're not righteous enough to get into the 144,000. That's who he's talking to. He's saying if you're just a normal person and you die, yeah, you're blessed. You're not being tortured on earth during the times of tribulations. During the times of tribulations, if you don't take the mark of the beast and you are not part of the 144,000 righteous few, if you die, it's not the end of the world. You're blessed. You're blessed. You can rest from your labors. You're no longer being tormented, and your works do follow them. So that means what you do on this planet does matter. Don't think, oh, I'm not righteous enough to get into the 144,000. I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin man, and I've said things that I don't mean, which means there's guile in your mouth, which means you've said things that have gotten you out of the 144,000 people who will be accepted as sealed with the seal of God. Even if you're just a normal person and you don't fall into either of those camps, as long as you don't take the mark of the beast, if you die just knowing that Christ died for your sins, and it's important to know it's okay, you're blessed to die, and your works do follow you. So your works are important. What you did on earth is important. Don't think, oh, I didn't take the mark of the beast, but I'm some child toucher. I'm trying to think of YouTube friendly words. I'm I'm a robber. I've been breaking the commandments, stealing. I've been robbing people. I'm out here murdering people. All right, your works do follow you now. And I looked and beheld a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came from out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for you to reap, and the harvest is ripe. I think okay, let me finish out this chapter. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth. That means killing all the righteous, not the 144,000, but killing a lot of people. Basically, all the people who didn't take the mark of the beast. Those are the people who they're talking about here. And gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even into the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. All right. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word. All right. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word. Okay, so the message here, just a recap. And again, I appreciate everyone who's made it with me this far. Everyone who's enjoyed the conversation this far, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I want to recap here, because basically what I'm saying is there is a civil war coming. It's been prophesied. The word is very clear on this topic. There's a civil war coming, but it's not what you think. The Civil War is not going to be but a race war between black folks and white folks. Nope, it's not. The Civil War is not going to be, the Republicans versus the Democrats, Texas versus Biden. This is not the Civil War that's coming. I'm here to tell you that the Civil War that's coming is a war between the righteous and the unrighteous. The people who take the mark of the beast in their right hand or their forehead versus the people who don't. All right. Now, the 144,000 perfect people, the real righteous people, they are going to be on the side of us normal folks. Us normal folks who aren't sealed with the seal of God. Us normal folks who aren't part of the 144,000 male virgins who have never cursed, who have never said anything. There's no guile in their mouth. The people who don't fit into that category, we don't have the seal of God. We are still going to be fighting on the same side of the 144,000. The 144,000 have directly threatened the people who take the mark of the beast. All right. There's going to be the masses who take the mark of the beast, who just want to support their families. Hey, if I got to worship this beast in order to feed my kids and feed my wife, then hey, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'll take the mark. Just let me take care of my family, and that's what I got to do, and that's what I got to do. Those people who just, hey, I got to sell out. I'm going to sell my soul so that I can survive on this planet in a life of luxury. Those people are going to be at war with us who will not take the mark of the beast, us who will not put a chip in our hand that allows us to buy or sell. Mind you, they have that today. They have the chips that allow you to buy and sell, that allow you to buy and sell. They already have technology. They're just going to make it a one world mandatory technology. Here, check this out. Bear with me. Don't watch that. It's commercial, guys. I gotta get past that. But I want to show you all that this technology already exists. Here we go. But yeah, this technology already exists. This was prophesied. Mind you, this was prophesied thousands of years ago. And I ask you, if it was just random, how did John, thousands of years ago, know that a technology would exist that would allow him to do things that he prophesied thousands of years ago? Check out the things that we can do in 2024 and imagine you seeing this 2,000 years ago. The internet, before electricity, before cell phones, before the internet, before global technology, before modernization, before cars, before planes, before missiles, before gunpowder. John was able to predict we would have the technology to do this.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Like a grain of rice.
In his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chips.
Keys, ID, and wallet.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks.
Exactly.
So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular.
Okay. All right. Now, again, I got to ask you, how did this man, Jonathan, How did this man Jonathan? How did Jonathan know if the Bible is, if the word is just, it's all bull, it's all made up, you can't believe any of it. How did Jonathan know thousands of years ago that we would be able to buy stuff with a microchip, with our hand, with something the size of a grain of rice, before they had the internet? How could he know this? Huh? That's a legitimate question. That's a legitimate question, isn't it? And for all the naysayers, for all the people who say just throw the word out, it's a slave Bible, just throw it out. Before you throw that out, could you just answer that question for me real quick? Just answer that question, and then we can talk about throwing it out. But answer me how they could be so specific about wondrous sights dropping fire from the sky, missile strikes. How did he do that? That's my question. How did John, on an island of Patmos, foresee that thousands of years in the future, we would have the internet and we would have items the size of a grain of rice that we could implant into our hands and use it to buy or sell, like the clip I just showed you? It's just lucky guess? Okay. All right. Well, check this out. You stick with that lucky guess idea. I'm going to stick with this. This is the moral of the story. This is what I want to close out with. I'm of the belief that there is a civil war coming between the righteous and the unrighteous. It's not going to be a civil war between black and white people. It's not a race war that we got to worry about. The civil war that's coming is the civil war that was prophesied thousands of years ago, between the people who say, yes, I will take the mark of the beast in order to keep buying stuff. I want to buy gas for my truck. I want to buy food for my kids. I want to buy baby formula for my baby. I want to buy clothes for my teenager who keeps growing up so fast. I want to buy flowers for my wife. I want to buy a lamp for my house. Give me the microchip. Hey, now I don't have to worry about having a wallet. Now I don't have to worry about bringing my keys with me. Just give me the chip. Life is easier. Don't even worry about that bull stuff they're talking about in the Bible. It's not real. Just throw the Bible away, give me the chip, and forget all that bull stuff they're talking about. There's going to be people who take that opinion. Absolutely. Then there's going to be 144,000 people out of 9 billion. There's going to be 144,000 people who are perfect. I'm talking about they've never said a curse word, no guile in their mouth. They're male virgins. They've never been defiled with women. They've never touched a woman from birth. They've been set to follow the commandments of God, meaning they keep the Sabbath holy. They never went to a party on Friday night. Never. They never went to a party on Friday night. They have kept the commandments to a T. 144,000 out of 9 billion. You got the people who take the mark. You got 144,000 people who are perfectly righteous. And then you got us normal people somewhere in the middle who are stuck here, unable to buy gas for our truck, unable to buy clothes for our kids, unable to buy diapers for our babies, unable to buy clothes for our wives, flowers for our wives, unable to buy beers at the bar. We can't buy anything. And us normal people are going to be like, well, if I can't buy anything, it doesn't say anything about me taking your stuff. You say I can't buy something, but that has nothing to do with my ability to run into this Walmart, grab everything off the wall, and tell security, buck if you want. Because my finger works just like yours. You really, how much do you want this baby formula? You got the mark. You got the mark. You can buy this baby formula. I don't got no mark. But I need these diapers. So what we going to do about this? It looks like we're at an impasse because this finger still works. See what I'm saying? Now, when you talk about a civil war, that sounds like a reason for a civil war to me. The inability for half the population to buy or sell basic necessities, orange juice, apples, oatmeal, popcorn, bread, butter. Half the population unable to buy or sell sounds like a pretty strong reason for someone to get busy. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Miss Clarnstrong. Well, then that becomes theft, which was a commandment not to do. What I'm saying is these people are not righteous, Miss Clarnstrong. There's 144,000 people who are sealed with the seal of God. That's not a lot of people out of 9 billion, Miss Clarnstrong. Miss Clarnstrong, if 144,000 people are sealed with the seal of God, and then there's a lot of people who take the mark of the beast, what about the millions and billions of people who are not righteous enough to get into the 144,000 and are not evil enough to take the mark? What do all of us do? What do all of us do? You think we're worried about theft? You think all we're doing is following the laws and the commandments, us normal people? I submit to you, Ms. Armstrong, most people on the earth, they might not be evil and taking worship in the beast, but they're not necessarily righteous either. They're not necessarily above taking your food or kicking in your door because they're hungry and their kids are hungry. It was time to prepare 10 years ago. Those of us who believe the Most High word, then we should be following Yahweh's way. Prepare. Absolutely. I'm glad you said that because that is something I definitely wanted to touch on. So very, very good. I'm glad you said that, Ms. Armstrong. You know, on this channel, one of the major things that I do is push emergency preparedness. I push preparedness. I have a whole playlist. Y'all can go and check that out where I talk on this subject similar. I talk about cyber warfare. I talk about attacks, emergency weather events, extreme weather events. I talk about emergency preparedness. And emergency preparedness is not limited to things like hurricanes and tornadoes, cyber grid down events. Preparedness, a lot of my basis for preparedness is founded in the word. So I see things like the Civil War coming, which is prophesied, and I say, like Ms. Armstrong says, it's time to prepare. Maybe I should stock up, throw some stuff in the basement. Maybe I should go get a Costco card. Message. Maybe I should go get a Costco card so I can start buying things in bulk. I can get a lot of, instead of, one case of bottled water, I can get 2, 3. Even if I only drink one every week, let me get 2 or 3 just to be safe, right? Every time you do that, and it starts to accumulate. So I agree. I'm with Ms. Armstrong on this. Now's the time to prepare. The time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is today. All right. If I wasn't doing it yesterday, it's something that we need to be sure to do today. I'll give you till tomorrow. Give you the night to think it over. Right? I'll give you the night to think it over. You're not doing it yesterday. You haven't done it today. I'll give you till tomorrow so you got time to think it over. But check it out. This is something you're going to need to do. You need to start buying in bulk. You need Scotch tape. You need batteries. You need medical. If you or your loved ones are taking any type of medication, don't just get enough for this month or whatever have you. Try to get wholesale. Try to buy things in bulk. Right, the big box grow your own food, buying your own foods. I just put out I got my tomatoes and my cucumbers. Yeah, canning, dehydrating. Miss Armstrong's on it. Miss Armstrong, she's speaking with some wisdom right now. She's putting it in the chat. Right, so shout out Miss Armstrong. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. All of that is important. Got to get your gardens going. I've got some my strawberries out there. I haven't put the strawberries in there yet, but I got my plant hanger for that. So I got to go get some more fertilizer, but I just put my cucumbers and my tomatoes out there. So I'm with Miss Armstrong. I got a little bit of lemonade and cranberry juice here. My ice is melting, so I'm trying to stay hydrated. Okay. Well, I think I touched on everything I wanted to touch on today. I appreciate everyone who was rocking with me on today's live, enjoying the conversation. Like I said, there's a civil war coming. And like Ms. Armstrong said, now's the time to prepare. I'm going to leave you with that. If you've made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you enjoyed the conversation and this is your first time watching, smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. Every Saturday, I'm coming out with a different Bible in the news. We're talking about prophecies, biblical prophecies, and how they relate to our lifestyle today. All right, so y'all be sure to check out that series. Throughout the week, I drop different lives on various different topics, whether it be news, hip hop, current events, sports, wide range of topics, never a shortage of conversation. So y'all be sure to subscribe and share those type of conversations. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all continue to show love, and I'll try to continue to show love back. I appreciate you all, I really do. Y'all keep me motivated to keep this thing going. So, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.